Let's talk about the Pittsburgh Pirates. Last season, PNC Park is wonderful, by the way. Before I get into this, Primani sandwiches are the best. PNC Park is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. I love the Pirates organization. Very, very passionate fan base. But this
Are
team
you worried about
is.
getting beat up in Pittsburgh? What is this? What
I
is this
well,
spiel about?
it is a little rough. It is a little rough. No, I've been to every single park except for a couple of new ones. I haven't been to see the Cumberland Braves yet. And I try to be nice. Like, I try to find the great things about all of the parks. Like Petco Field pisses me off because you can't see the field from it's like a cavern going around from. If you go like from third base to third base and you go behind home plate, there's so much area where you can't see the game. Like there's
Bad
just
sight
kind of,
lines.
yeah, there's no sight lines whatsoever. But if you go to say Citizens Bank, if you go to see the Phillies play, I mean, they have a bar at the top of the stands of the bottom bowl. They have a bar right behind that where you can get your beer and you can get your food and you can sit there and you can watch from every single angle and from third to third. And same thing with the Royals. And so I'm a big fan of like open area stadiums. And PNC is one of the best parks to watch. They also have a $35 buffet out in right field, and you can hang out down. All right, that's enough about PNC Park. Let's talk about the bad things with the Pirates here. Last season, 65 wins. Vegas win total was at 77.5. They massively underachieved. Pathak said they should have had 68 wins and not 65. Vegas has their win total out at Westgate at 71.5. Sean, you got them marked at 68. Some other projection systems a little bit higher, but still, it seems like everybody's under this 71.5. I'll let you take it from here. But when I see key addition Jared Dyson, which I think was just yesterday before this recording, when I see that that's your key addition, could be a long season.
Yeah, they actually have some nice young position players. The more I looked at this team, the less I hated it, especially from a lineup standpoint. Like, they kind of have a fun young lineup. Brian Reynolds came up last year, did some cool things. Kevin Newman at shortstop played pretty well. Josh Bell has turned into a real major league, professional hitter, 35 home run, 40 home run threat from both sides of the plate. That guy can mash. Chris Archer had a pretty good second half, so I think they can probably get some value for him in season. I still don't know why they traded Austin Meadows and other pieces for him. Oh yeah, Tyler Glasnow, other pieces. Joe Musgrove had a 3-win season, so he showed some nice things. But beyond that, they don't really have much rotation. Mitch Keller's, a top prospect. I think he can do some stuff. They have some, like I said, they have some nice young lineup pieces, but they are not completely loaded in the farm system. Cabrian Hayes is going to come up. He's a nice two-way third baseman. I really like him a lot. He's probably a future Gold Glover. He's the best defensive third baseman of the minors. The real interesting guy to watch, the real question mark for me, is Gregory Polanco. He's still 28, 29, never really achieved his peak. Had a bunch of setbacks last year from a 2018 shoulder injury. So can Polanco get to his peak level? Can they actually get some value out of him and maybe trade him for something? That remains to be seen. He's really sort of disappointed through this point of his career. So a guy that they expected a lot from when they had that potential outfield with him and McCutchen and Starling Marte. Now it's just him left, and it's never really panned out.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning, we talk about Austin Meadows and Tyler Glasnow out the door. It's worth mentioning that there is a brand new manager and a brand new GM here. So whatever mistakes were made in the past, that they are long gone, and it's a new regime here in Pittsburgh. So probably no expectations for them to win this year. They're going to try to put the pieces of the puzzle back together. From a fantasy standpoint, I know that Brian Reynolds in the outfield his ADP is up around the 180s. He is the one fantasy player that I think is getting more noticed in drafts than usual. Other than that, this is a no play for me. Do you have any plays on Pittsburgh?
No, there was an under 73.5 that was out there. Like last week, I would have played that. I think it's been bet down under 60, under 69, under 70, pretty much everywhere at this point. So no play for me unless you saw like a 72.5, basically. And I'd only expect it to go down at this point, though.